Alright, it is time for the Opal chip jar giveaway. This is twofold. One, a lot of you say, man, I'd love to have some of that stuff. There's going to be some cutters in here. And two, it's a good reminder that this is how some unscrupulous sellers trick you into thinking that the value of the rough you might buy is much better than it is. We're going to pull one piece out of here and cut it now. To win, all you have to do is comment on the video from I think 2 days ago, third cut's a charm, whatever it is. I just picked that one. Watch that one and comment on it, and you'll be entered to win. I'll draw from the people that watch that one. And I'm going to pull one piece out of here that I've seen a few times. We're going to cut it for this video. The rest of it, we're going to start giving it away. Let's see if I can find it. All right, let's pick one out of here to cut. I've had one in mind. I knew when I put it in here there was a little something to cut. How about that guy right there? I circled the spot. It's just eaten up with sand. But if it cuts something, it's going to be bright. So let's try that one, and then we can do it right now. Okay, let's get 100 carats of this. There's 104. But I don't like, well, that one's got some color in it, but that one takes up too much carat space. And how about if I'm going to hand pick one out of here, just to make sure that I see something with some potential go into there. Oh, look at that one. Okay. I'm confident that you'll have some fun with those. What is that? 160 carats. Good enough. That'll be the giveaway. Go back and comment on the video. Third time's a charm cutting opal rings, whatever it is. Watch that video. After you watch this video, comment on that one and make sure you're subscribed. I'll draw from the comments on that video and I'll send that out to you, and we'll keep going until all of that material is given away. If you're interested, stay tuned. It's smooth, but it cuts fast. We're on this color right here. Insane color, right? But man, it's just sand, sand, sand. So it'll be pretty lucky if we're able to cut anything out of this. I don't know if any of the sand will come out before we get to the thin color bar. Let's look at how thick our color bar is we're working with here. Pretty thin, and the sand is mostly below it. This stuff just melts away underneath on this wheel. So I think the giveaway material, I mean, it's going to have a bunch of color in it. I don't know if you'll get anything to cut out of it. Depends on how determined you are and how picky you are and maybe how good of a cutter you are. It's stuff that almost all of it's just like I went, well, there's color here, but I'm typically looking for stones over a carat. I don't like cutting the pointers. I know that Justin cuts a lot of pointers. Look at the sand. It's just more sand than color. But he cuts those high quality black opal pointers, and when there's this much color within the small area, you can get away with a pointer. If you're cutting a little lower quality stuff, there's not enough color per square inch or per square millimeter to really show off a stone that small. By the time you get them down to that size, it's hard to find ones that still show color and are nice looking. Now there's just the littlest bit of color under the sand. Right there. Right here the sand goes all the way through the color. So I think we want to dop this up to be really precise and careful. We'll move to the fine grit wheel. See if there's any way we can get through the sand and have enough left to call it a stone. Sometimes these are better off left. See, that sand just all the way through it here on this side. Sometimes these are just better off left in the chip jar, I think. Okay, I'm going to dop it up now. Maybe it's just because what I'm used to. We're looking to see if we can ever get that sand with color underneath it. On this side we have a little bit of color underneath it. And I mean it's thin. It's thin, 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 thin. You don't cut down to that color bar on anything but just your finest wheel because you'll go right through it. But on this side we're still showing sand. We're still showing sand all the way through the color bar, so I'm excited. I hope whoever wins this, we're just going to start giving away that just to people. I mean, some of you won't have any interest in the chip jar maybe, and some of you might just like it because it's going to be pretty in a glass jar. I actually have some little necklaces that you can put chips in and wear them, and maybe I'll throw one of those in with this one. That way, worst case scenario, you end up with a little pretty glass vial necklace. You can see why I would chuck something like this in that jar going, I'll wait till I'm in the mood for some punishment and frustration. See the broken cracks right there? Had to pause the video to sniffle. I try to be mindful of that stuff, you guys. I try to make sure my nails aren't horrific. They always are, because when I'm cutting, there's nothing you can do about it, but I try to be mindful of that stuff. I know that I saw a video today of a guy, man, look at that big chip we just took out, that had a nail about that long showing off some opal, and I was just going, ugh. I don't know if I even want, I can't see the opal around the, yeah, that broken stuff's wanting to kind of fragment the whole piece. Anyway, I try to be mindful of that stuff. Sometimes there's nothing I can do. You get what you get on this channel, you know, obviously. You got guys that have staff that do their editing, and you got guys like, you know, like us Opals. I don't think that he probably has anybody else doing his editing. Maybe he does, but he clearly puts a lot of time into his videos, and that's why he only can put out one a week. The reason I can put out one every day is because, I mean, this isn't going to surprise any of you, but I spend about 10 minutes of video editing, and that's obvious, and that's not the intent. If you need big production value, this isn't the place. But if you just want a fun place where we try to learn and cut some, I think we've got color bar underneath the sand now all the way around. I think it might be time to see if we can't get through it and And I mean, we're just going to go so slowly through this. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do it, but I've mentioned this before, but I do think it's a little bit funny that there's a video out there, some of you are going to know who put it out, teaching you how to cut those razor thin color bars. And it's like a 40-minute video, and by the end of the video, they've blown through the color bar and basically ruined the stone. And I don't know, I think I probably would have shot another video with another Opal, and it was a good example of how to blow through a color bar with a very technical explanation about how not to. I mean, shoot, not everything I try to do on here works out, obviously, and maybe it's schadenfreude. It's not really, I just know that my technique is if I'm already down to where I want to be before I go over to the final wheel, I'm probably too far. I'm going to take this down until I just think the sand is starting to come out, but I'm still in the color bar, and then we're going over to the finishing wheel because this color bar is too thin to have any additional material come off after we're through the sand. We need to basically come through the sand if this is going to be successful. I still think we're probably going to get a little teeny stone in the middle here, but to be able to pull off one this big will be an absolute miracle, because to get that sand to come out and still have color bar on, especially on that right side, it'll be beyond my skill set and relying on a little bit of luck. And if we end up going through the color bar and we're still, I mean, if this, by the time we get through the sand, we're through the color bar, that we just got to reduce the size of the Opal. We're just going slow, taking a deep breath, reminding myself to be patient, go a little bit at a time. We can even stop and see the chips coming out, trying to mess everything up. Those chips are going to come off when I take it off the dopping stick. The only thing holding it together is the glue that I put on there to dop it with. But that'll be a whole different thing to deal with. Okay, so here's my pointer stick at, right here. Our worry on this side is this sand right here looks deeper. You kind of get an eye for sand that looks deeper than other sand. We're through the color bar here on this one. We're almost through the color bar. I'm just not sure that sand's going to come out, but we're going to keep trying. Come in a little bit, we'll go down a little bit, we'll come in a little bit, and just keep going until we either have nothing left or we have a stone. See, we have color underneath the sand everywhere but right there. Is, is your heart beating up into your ears? No. If this was an $8,000 black Opal, it might be. Let's move over and see if it will come out. If it will come out on this wheel, when it comes out, we're ready for polish. If it comes out on the other wheel, we still have to come to this wheel and get the scratches out. So this will take longer, but it'll give us a better chance. We still got that piece on this side, that piece of sand, and all that sand. Sand just goes down through the color bar. There's just nothing you can do when it does that. Alright, I slipped over to that diamond wheel to make this go a little bit quicker. Some of it's got to come off. There's no way, two ways around it. Nope. Wasn't intended on taking that little bit off, but it came off anyway. This would be why when I first looked at this piece, as big as it was, I went, there's nothing there to cut. And so far, despite my best efforts to prove myself wrong, I'm not wrong. We're not down to nothing yet, though. We're not down to nothing. I don't want to die alone. I don't want to live forsaken. I refuse to let it go. Sand is below the color bar right there. Because my soul is breaking. I don't want to let you know. My heart is just so jaded. I refuse to let it go. I refuse to let it show. Wake me up when this is over. I'm tired of living life like it's a dream. Please wake me up when it's all over. I'm tired of living somewhere in between. I refuse. I've always walked alone. I chose the path less taken. I refuse to let you in. Life's not been shit. It's not a joke at all. Inside my spirit's faded. I refuse to take the fall. No one cares at all. Wake me up when this is over. I'm tired of living life like it's a dream. Please wake me up when it's all over. I'm tired of living somewhere in between. I refuse, 'cause at the end of the day I'm not you, and I refuse. That's what we're gonna get right there. We go in after that last sand spot. There's not enough there to do anything with. It is what it is. That's what we get. That little circle I drew on it originally was pretty darn close to what we ended up with. Still got a little sand in it. Maybe it's a reminder. It's got a pretty color. It's a pretty little stone. Let's polish it and see what we ended up with. It's a beautiful color. But there's sand here, here, and here. There's sand here, here, and here. We just couldn't get out. You can't deny its beautiful color. What would you do with a stone like that? Would you find a use for it? Throw it in the chip jar? Pass it down the road? It's hard to find color that good, that bright. Flagstone, greens and blues. Anyway, you all know what to do. Go to that Third Cuts Charm video, comment there, especially if it'll be helpful if you comment something about the chip jar, because then I'll know that you're interested in it. Comment there. Every comment there, I'll give it like 2 days, and every comment there will be eligible for that 160 or 70 carats that I just pulled out. You'll be able to have this kind of fun with it at least, and I'll be curious to see what you guys can pull from it. There are some better pieces in there, I think, but thanks for watching. Well, there's our little stone. That's what we ended up with. Top, bottom. Maybe we'll chuck that back in and make it one of the giveaway ones. One of you might really like that little guy. No doubt it's a beautiful stone. You probably have somebody in your life that's that beautiful but has a couple of little flaws that you put up with. Maybe they squeeze the toothpaste from the middle, or put the toilet paper on the roll backwards, and you have all this beauty that you look at instead. That's the type of people we need to be. Maybe I shouldn't notice the sand spots. Let me know if you'd like to have that one. We can do it in the giveaway, the next one. You want a better look at the flaws. If you put them in perfect light, the flaws are the most obvious. Bring it back into some shade, and the color stands out. There's got to be a lesson there. These things are slippery when they're polished. Come on, focus phone. Navy, what are you doing?
Getting in the hot tub.
I get to watch Navy out in the hot tub.